Hello, thank you very much for allowing me to join this policy forum digitally. I'm really sorry not to be able to join you live as this policy forum actually overlaps with activities in New York, where soon the Declaration on Future Generations will be signed. My name is Tessa Roseboom. I'm a professor of early development and health at the University of Amsterdam, and I'm the first Future Generations Commissioner of the Amsterdam UMC, University Medical Centers in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and a partner in the LongITools project. And I'm really happy to share some of our experiences in translating our scientific research into policy and practice in the Netherlands, with a specific aim of giving each child the best possible start in life. So all living creatures are sensitive to the environment. Plants, animals, and human beings are responsive to their environment, particularly during periods of rapid growth and development. And I just wanted to share some examples with you to remind you of the fact that despite genetical identity, biological seeds can lead to very different plants and organisms based on the soil base that's provided to them. So different phenotypes can arise from the same genotype, and that doesn't only apply to plants, but it also applies to animals. In the middle, you see 4 genetically identical grasshoppers that grew up in different environments with plenty of food, with very little food, with a lot of stress and predators around, or with very little stress. And as you can see, despite the same genetic makeup, they have very different phenotypes. They look different, but they also have different metabolism and different behavior and different lifespans. And there's really no reason to assume that human beings are any different. Also, human beings are sensitive to their environment, particularly during periods of rapid growth and development, and nutrients available to individuals, but also levels of stress, of pollution, of temperature, all affect how human beings grow and develop. And that has big implications for the structure and function of the organs and tissues that are developing during early development. And that has big implications for people's physical and mental health, but also for their social well-being, for their ability to participate in society and on the labor market. And some of these effects can actually be transmitted from one generation to the next. So my research and the research that we've been doing in my group in the past 30 years has focused around the question of how human beings are shaped by the environment in which they grow and develop, particularly during the first 1,000 days of life, during which one fertilized egg develops into a complete human being with all the organs and tissues it'll ever have. This is just a snapshot of the breadth of the studies that we've been doing over the past 30 years. We've been investigating men and women who were inside their mother's womb during the time of the Dutch famine. And the picture on the left is actually my paternal grandmother, who was 3 months pregnant with my mother when the Dutch famine started. And this must have been around the time that the egg that made me was formed, explaining why some of the effects of exposures to crises such as famine and war can transmit from one generation to the next. I'll be telling you a little bit more about what we found studying men and women who were in utero during the time of the Dutch famine in a minute. But these studies inspired new studies into nausea and vomiting in pregnancy, into all sorts of other exposures during pregnancy and early life, initially in terms of medical conditions, but later on in much broader terms in terms of how do environmental exposures to poverty, to stressors, to violence, to air pollution affect growth and development and health of children. What types of implications does that have on a global level, and current day situations such as the war in Ukraine, but also the current situation in Gaza has very similar implications, if you like, for the potential of future generations to develop to their full potential. So as I said, we've been investigating how human beings are shaped by the environment in which they grow and develop. This is both the very direct environment as well as the bigger environment in terms of parental health, family support, finances, poverty, employment, housing, and climate. And as much as we possibly can, we try to take a life course perspective in our studies. So what we've learned from the Dutch famine studies, and I don't have time to go into all the details, is that people who were exposed to an acute period of famine in the past 30 years of our research have shown to have poorer health, an increased risk of chronic degenerative diseases such as cardiovascular disease, such as different forms of cancer, of which they die at a younger age, but also various mental health issues and increased stress sensitivity and potentially even accelerated aging. We found evidence that prenatal exposure to the Dutch famine affected people's ability to learn, people's ability to participate in the labour market, and that some of these effects are transmitted from one generation to the next, which really taught us that exposures during early life have effects on different outcomes of the Sustainable Development Goals in terms of health, in terms of ability to benefit from education, to participate on the labour market, and investing in early life environment and people's ability to develop to their full potential seems one of the best ways to prevent and reduce inequalities. Studies from our group, but definitely also many other groups around the world, have shown that the climate in which human beings develop also affect their health, their ability to learn, their ability to participate on the labour market, and increase or reduce inequalities, air pollution, but also natural disasters such as flooding, such as fires, such as earthquakes, have all been shown to have a big impact on unborn generations and have a lasting impact on people's ability to develop to their full potential. And the promising lessons that we learn from interventions that have actually reduced the effects of climate change, such as closing polluting factories, have actually resulted in children getting a better start in life, with fewer children being born prematurely and more children being born with appropriate birth weights. So in the Netherlands, I've been advocating for translating these scientific insights into policy and practice in these books, and I've used three main arguments to actually invest in the climate in which all children get a chance to develop to their full potential in the Netherlands. There's the scientific argument, there's the economic argument, and there is an argument of social justice that I'll just go through very briefly. So There's a lot of biomedical evidence showing that intervening in early life has biggest effects in preventing physical and mental diseases and allowing people to develop to their full potential. The economic evidence, about which you'll hear much more in this forum, show that the majority of societal costs are incurred by a minority of the population who have in common that they've had a false start in life. And the work from James Heckman, but also Gabriella Conti and her colleagues have shown that investing in early human development yields the biggest rate of return. And finally, in the Convention of the Rights of the Child, we've agreed that in every decision that affects children, their interests should be taken into account even before the time that they are born. And these three main arguments have led the Dutch government to invest in a climate in which children get the chance to develop to their full potential with the Solid Start program, in which they've invested 23 million euros annually to support the collaboration between professionals from the medical and social domain to collaborate on a local level and give each child the best possible start within each and every municipality of the country. And not only the Dutch government, but also 24 joint health foundations have decided to have one joint mission of achieving the healthiest generation in 2040 by investing in the first 1,000 days of life. So we've taken a systems approach in the Solid Start program to really try and optimize the environment, both at a societal level as well as at a municipal, local level and within families by taking a multi-sectoral approach. And we're trying to take a learning perspective, so we're monitoring the program, and I've been tasked to chair the committee the scientific committee that advises the Public Health Institute on the monitoring. And here you can see there's been a growing number of coalitions within the country, and currently all municipalities in the Netherlands have a local coalition where different professionals from the medical and social domain collaborate with NGOs, with parent organizations, and with volunteer organizations to support parents and prospective parents to give each child the best possible start in life. And here you can see the ambition and the actions that we've taken both on a national and on a local level to try and give each child the best possible start in life. The monitoring currently is ongoing. We have positive development in terms of various process indicators, with an increasing number of municipalities having local coalitions offering more support. We're also monitoring outcomes, and some are showing some positive developments, some aren't yet showing positive development. Obviously, we cannot draw causal conclusions based on these observational data. This is really what I wanted to share with you and link what we've learned so far in the Netherlands to what's currently ongoing globally, is that every decision we take affects the environment in which future generations will live and get an opportunity to develop to their full potential. So we are laying the foundations for future generations, and in every decision that we take, we need to take the interests of future generations into account. So that's why I'm really happy that the UN Declaration on Future Generations will be signed very soon. And I think that both as policymakers and as scientists, we can contribute to creating a climate in which all children get a chance to develop to their full potential. I thank you very much for your attention and wish you a very good day. Thank you so much.